Society often tells us that our 20s and 30s are the golden years, that everything after is somehow less vibrant, less meaningful. But that's simply not true. For many of us, the most authentic and fulfilling stage of life begins later, after loss, after change, after what felt like endings. It begins when we've gathered enough wisdom to finally see what truly matters. Welcome back to Journey After 60. Today, I want to share 3 powerful signs that you may be entering the best stage of your life. And chances are, some of these signs are already showing up, even if you haven't fully noticed them yet. These aren't just feel-good ideas. They're real, tangible shifts that point to a profound transformation in how you experience life after 60. The best stage of your life doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins the moment you realize that you are enough, exactly as you are, and that your story still has beautiful chapters waiting to be written. Before we get started, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Every day, I share insights and advice to help you navigate relationships, build self-worth, and embrace the joy of life after 60. Let's start with the first sign, and it might be the hardest, but also the most freeing. Sign number 1. You're letting go of what no longer serves you. And I mean really letting go. Not just saying you're over something, but actually releasing it from your heart, your mind, and your daily life. This might look like walking away from toxic relationships that drain your energy. It could be releasing old regrets that have been weighing you down for decades. Maybe it's finally letting go of limiting beliefs about what you're supposed to do at your age, or what others expect from you. Here's why this matters so deeply. When you're younger, you often hold on to things because you think you have unlimited time to fix them, to make them work, to prove something. But there's a beautiful wisdom that comes with life experience. You begin to understand that your energy is precious, your time is valuable, and your peace of mind is non-negotiable. There's something profound that happens in this stage of life. You start recognizing patterns you've been repeating for years, maybe decades. You see how you've been giving your power away to people who don't appreciate it. You realize how much mental space you've been dedicating to situations that will never change, no matter how much you worry about them. You know, there's an old saying that goes something like this: holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. But it's not just anger we hold on to. It's disappointment. It's old versions of ourselves that no longer fit. It's expectations that were never realistic in the first place. This doesn't mean becoming selfish or uncaring. It means becoming discerning. It means understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup, and that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and others is to step back from situations that no longer serve your highest good. The beautiful thing about this letting go process is that it creates space for new experiences, new relationships, new ways of being in the world. When you're not carrying around all that old baggage, you have so much more room for joy, for growth, for the unexpected gifts that this stage of life wants to bring you. I'm curious, what's something you've been holding on to that you know deep down you need to release? Maybe it's an old hurt, a relationship that's run its course, or even just the need to be everything to everyone. Share in the comments below, because sometimes just naming it out loud is the first step toward letting it go. And once you let go, something even more powerful begins to emerge. Sign number 2. You're excited by possibility, not afraid of change. The second sign is perhaps my favorite. This is huge. This is the difference between surviving and thriving in life after 60. You know, Albert Einstein once said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning." And isn't that beautiful? When you're entering the best stage of your life, that childlike curiosity awakens again. You start asking, "What if?" instead of, "What's the point?" My sister is Bertha. At 64, she was terrified of retirement. She'd worked as a nurse for 40 years, and her job wasn't just what she did, it was who she was. The thought of not having that structure, that purpose, that identity absolutely paralyzed her. She would lie awake at night wondering, now what? Is this it? Am I just going to fade away? But then something beautiful happened. Instead of seeing retirement as an ending, she began to reframe it as freedom. Freedom to wake up when her body naturally wanted to wake up. Freedom to pursue things she'd always been curious about but never had time for. You know what happened? At 65, Bertha rented a small studio space. At 66, she had her first art show. At 68, she's teaching painting classes to other women who thought it was too late to start something new. She calls this the best stage of her life, not despite the changes, but because of them. Here's what I've learned about change at our age. We've been through enough of life's curveballs to know we can handle whatever comes. We've survived losses, disappointments, unexpected turns. That's not something to fear. That's incredible strength and resilience. When you recognize that strength, change stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you can actively embrace. This is what spiritual awakening really looks like at our age. It's not about dramatic revelations or mystical experiences. It's about waking up to the truth that transformation is possible at any stage of life. It's about emotional healing that comes from finally believing in your own capability to grow, to evolve, to become. By now you can see how embracing possibility transforms your life after 60. But the real breakthrough, the final sign, is the one that anchors everything: choosing yourself without guilt. Sign number 3. You're finally choosing yourself without guilt. The third and final sign that you're entering the best stage of your life is this: you're finally choosing yourself without guilt. You're prioritizing your own happiness, your own passions, your own peace of mind, and you're not apologizing for it. This is profound inner healing in action. For so many of us, especially women, we've spent decades putting everyone else first: our children, our spouses, our parents, our employers, our communities. We've been so conditioned to believe that self-care is selfish that we've forgotten it's actually essential. But here's what happens when you reach a certain stage of life experience. You realize that you can't be your best self for anyone else if you're not taking care of your own soul evolution first. You start understanding that choosing yourself isn't taking away from others, it's modeling what healthy self-respect looks like. I think about my wife's friend Sarah, who at 62 decided to take her first solo vacation in 30 years. Her adult children were horrified. "What if something happens to Dad while you're gone?" they asked. "Who's going to handle Grandma's doctor appointments?" Her husband sulked for weeks before she left, but Sarah went anyway. She spent 10 days in Ireland, something she dreamed about since she was a little girl reading Irish fairy tales. She walked the cliffs of Moher, alone, feeling the wind in her hair. She sat in ancient stone circles, feeling connected to something larger than her daily responsibilities. She journaled in cozy pubs, rediscovering parts of herself she'd forgotten existed. When she came back, something had fundamentally shifted. She wasn't angry or resentful anymore. She wasn't exhausted by everyone else's needs. She had filled her own cup first, and now she had so much more to give from a place of joy rather than obligation. Carl Jung talked about the individuation process, becoming who you truly are, separate from all the roles and expectations others have placed on you. This often happens most powerfully in the second half of life, when we've fulfilled enough external obligations to finally ask, "But who am I really? What do I actually want? What makes my soul come alive?" This doesn't mean becoming selfish or abandoning your responsibilities. It means understanding that you have a responsibility to yourself, too. It means recognizing that your dreams, your needs, your emotional well-being matter just as much as everyone else's. I want you to save this video and share it with a friend who needs to hear this message, because sometimes we need someone else to give us permission to choose ourselves. Share it in those groups where women are supporting each other through life transitions after 60. Your story of choosing yourself without guilt might be exactly what another woman needs to take her first brave step toward her own best stage of life. Because the best stage of your life isn't waiting for you somewhere in the future. It begins the moment you decide you deserve it. Let's bring this all together. The 3 signs that you're about to begin the best stage of your life are letting go of what no longer serves you, getting excited by possibility instead of afraid of change, and finally, choosing yourself without guilt. You need to understand, the best stage of your life doesn't come from your age or your circumstances. It doesn't come from finally having enough money or the perfect relationship or ideal health. It comes from an internal shift. It comes when you let go of what's weighing you down, embrace the beautiful uncertainty of what's possible, and start living for your own truth. Maya Angelou also said something that I think captures this perfectly. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. The best stage of your life begins when you stop bearing that untold story and start living it. When you stop waiting for permission and start giving it to yourself. Now, I'd love to hear your story. Have you experienced one of these signs in your own life? Are you in the middle of letting go, embracing change, or learning to choose yourself? Maybe you're just beginning to recognize these shifts happening within you. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what another person needs to recognize their own transformation beginning. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on embracing the most fulfilling stage of life after 60. Check the description for additional resources that will support your journey toward becoming the authentic, empowered person you were always meant to be. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.